everybody, and welcome to Old Gray Brick. It is good to see you this evening. I hope you're ready for an hour or so of old man bantering with Meredith. Because
it's okay. I have 8 gray hairs, so you can call me an old lady.
I was never call you an old lady. Welcome everybody, and we do have. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said I reference myself having a senior moment, so I'm okay with it.
Well, okay, then that's good. And we do have a friend that hasn't been here in a while. It's our friend Ryan. Hello, Ryan. How are you? You. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but we do the Legoland wave because of you every show.
Yes.
And we are inclusive with the mini doll hands too. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's you. Andrew Sada's in the chat. Highland Bricks, hello, welcome. Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us here. There you got a hello from Andrew Sada. Grumpy J is in the chat. Hello. Grumpy J actually was in my Whatnot auction the other night until Whatnot crashed hard. Brick Jedi, hello. Welcome. Glad that you're here. Let's do a quick spin around the room before we make everybody mad and talk about how we're terrible fans of the product. So we'll start with our guest. Just tell us what you're up to. We'll talk to you about your Lego landing here in just a minute. But Ryan, how are you this evening?
Doing super well. Thanks, guys. Glad to be back. It's been a long time.
Way too long.
Yes.
Probably regularly, at least a year, other than that last time I popped in to make sure my employee wasn't saying Legos. When you guys had Joey on, Lego dude, Lego Joey, whatever he goes by on Instagram. Yeah. So what's going on with me? That was the question. Not a lot, actually. Busy with work. We're winding down for the season. Legoland New York is a seasonal park, so we're actually pretty much done. And we'll reopen in the spring. That doesn't mean we don't do anything at work during the winter. But at home, as far as Lego, I'm a little behind as far as recent Lego sets go. In fact, I've been spending my money on other plastic hobbies. I'm soon to be getting a very expensive Ghostbusters Proton pack from a Hasbro crowdfunding campaign that took up most of my Lego money for a good year.
And you know what? We're going to give you a pass on that because that is freaking awesome. Yeah, you're golden. You're golden.
Yes, I appreciate that.
As someone who bought the Hasbro sail barge and the Razor Crest, I cannot criticize you buying any HasLab product.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be here next week, and now that that's all paid off and it's on the way, my Lego purchases should be getting better from here on out.
So I got to ask the question: does that mean you have a jumpsuit and boots to go with your pack?
That is next on the list. I'm sort of gathering things piecemeal. Like I bought the frame for the Proton pack because I had some money for it, and I'm going to work on the jumpsuit and some other stuff next. I've got some local friends here who have already committed to helping me out with 3D printing some of the other elements of the Ghostbusters outfit, including some of the belt gizmos. We've been talking about, some of the traps and things like that. So I'm actually fully committed to doing a full outfit, hopefully by October, if not later. But yeah, I was never going to be able to afford all at once. So
no. That's the way adult cosplay works. Is that you don't just buy it all at once. It's a labor of love. And
yeah, this is actually it's a kind of a foreign world for me. I've never really done cosplay, but I kind of sat back at one point and was like, if I get this pack, I'm like all in, and like a Ghostbusters is like a perfect outfit for like a schlubby guy like me. Like I can't be Spider-Man, but I can be like a Ghostbuster. That's perfect for my body type. So that's what I'm going for.
You should take advantage of it now while you can and get the Black Series Ghostbuster figure with your head on it from Hasbro as well.
I've debated it, but $60 is a pretty steep price for a Ghostbuster figure with my derpy head on it. Like,
but just think about once you have the costume, you're gonna want it. I'm telling you now, there will be a day you'll be like, oh, should have done it.
Should have done it. Yeah, we'll see. But anyway,
as somebody who 3D printed her child an entire suit of Mandalorian armor,
Nice.
Please, please, please get your hands ready. There's going to be a lot of sanding. A lot of sanding. Find some good podcasts. Find a good respirator that you're comfortable with. It's going to be, I listen to like probably 20 to 30 hour podcasts.
Ryan, couldn't you just grab a regular Ghostbuster figure, pop the head off of a chief from Battlestar Galactica, and put the two together?
I sure could. That would definitely be the easiest. Just kit bash one together.
There you
I
go.
don't look quite the same as I did in like 2004 when I looked exactly like him, but
You
I
did.
think might be passable.
In another 20
Here the-
years, no one would know the difference anyway. So you should still just do it. Yeah.
Oh, thanks,
if our-
Mark. I see.
One of our
Man, look at all that hair I had.
What? Let's compare, Cash,
Look how
shall we?
skinny I was.
Look at there. There it is. There it is. There he is. And there he is.
Oh, just don't look at this part. That's awful.
one of our local lug members here, who's a talented modular type builder, is Noel, and he also does the Ghostbusters. And there's a group, and someone has done the entire vehicle, so they have a group of people who all have the outfits and the vehicle, and they do charity events and the Dragon Con parade. So now, once you get the full suit, we're inviting you down for the Dragon Con parade, so you can join your tribe.
Nice. Yeah, I'm actually already in touch with a couple of the local groups and seeing about possibly joining when this is all put together and sorted out. I don't want to walk in with like just a backpack and look at me, guys, I'm part of the team. I'd like to be fully prepared to fit in with the rest of the group.
So I know a guy in Boston who's a big guy for that. So I will put you in touch with Brian Cross, because you'll more than likely you will hit New York Comic Con and as well.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's huge up here. There's multiple groups of Ghostbusters groups up here.
Yep.
And by the way, you mentioned Lego Joey. You know that he actually is coming, or really planning on coming to Atlanta Brick Convention next month.
Yeah, he put in his PTO request early.
Yeah, all the TikTok kids are going to be in town. It's going to be.
That's right. You need to come on down, dude.
Bring that Hawaiian shirt with you, and I'll sport one with you.
There you go. And by the way, Ryan, our sons are approaching a birthday. Mine is turning 18 next month. Yours will be...
Carter will be 15.
No!
Yeah.
There's no way you're old enough to have a 15-year-old.
You're telling me, man.
Dude, he's going to get his learner's permit?
Yeah, he's got a little mustache. It's adorable. It's hilarious.
Okay, my son
It's super weird, though. Like, our last family photo, he was like a foot and a half shorter than my wife, and now he's a head taller than her. It's crazy.
There's a possibility the last family picture we took, Jake had inched a little bit. It is the fact that he has more hair than me, I think, that did it, but he's getting there. So
he's got the pompadour going on. He's taking advantage of
that. This past weekend I measured small Paul, and he is now 5'1".
Whoa.
Which, he's 11, so that's reasonably tall for an 11-year-old.
That's taller than my mom was, I think. So.
That's taller than my 12-year-old. So
yeah, that's not. I was a little taller at that age, but he's tallish.
Yeah.
tallish.
Well, because Mark, you're what, 6'1", 6'2"?
6'2".
6'2". So I mean, you would assume that Paul will probably get to that height at least.
Maybe. I mean, it really it's hard to know because genetics are weird.
Genetics is weird because there was a guy in my junior high who was easily like 6 inches taller than the rest of us, but by the time we graduated from high school, we were all 6 inches taller than him. So yeah, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah,
my dad was 6 foot, and I stopped at 5'10", and I thought for sure I would hit 6 foot, but you never know.
Yeah, I was always 95th percentile for height growing up, but Paul's always been about 85th percentile. But that doesn't mean he won't be 6'2" or taller or something. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, you never know. That and all the growth hormones they're putting in the milk, so you never know.
It's them frogs, man.
And the chicken.
And the chicken.
Yeah, chicken. I was looking back, Matt. I was trying to remember. I can't remember if I'm taller than you or not. I'm looking back at our picture with Boone to see if I'm taller than you are.
I'm I'm the height of the average American male, but in that picture with Boone, I swear I'm the shortest one in the picture.
Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt that Boone's what, like 6'4"?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It
sure you're
isn't-
taller. You're taller than average, Matthew. I think average from male is like 5'7", 5'8".
Thought it was 5'10". I could be wrong.
I
though.
was going to
It's
say
not
I
one
thought
of
it
my
was
areas.
5'9", but I could be.
It's
we're talking-
somewhere. Yeah, somewhere. in there.
Depends on where in the world you are, I guess.
I'm
Well,
5'10" or 5'11", depending on what convenience store I'm leaving. So
That is such a weird question.
what?
What convenience store?
You don't remember on all the convenience stores they have the measuring thing on the wall to see how tall the perp is. That's a Ron White joke. What y'all need to watch some redneck jokes? I swear. Anyway,
Well, there is the problem. I'm not watching enough redneck television.
that's correct. You are not.
I haven't watched any Jeff Foxworthy in a very long time.
I watched Bill Engvall announce his retirement, which made me sad because Bill Engvall cracks me up.
I have thought about stealing Jeff Foxworthy's bit and doing "You Might Be an A-Full If."
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be super fun. All right, let's go around the room. Let's check in with Meredith. Meredith, what's up with you today?
I built a gray tower. Does that mean I'm a castle person?
Yes.
Technically,
Yes.
you were already a castle person with that white monstrosity. So,
But there it is.
woohoo!
Ooh.
That's a tower.
I can't do it. There we go. It's tall. It's derelict. And I'm still building.
Derelict.
Derelict.
Did you say derelict?
Derelict. You know, what was it? Mugatu? I think I said.
Yeah, Zoolander. Love it. Love it.
Yes. No. And then I'm on the hunt for more of these. So if you have them, I will buy them.
I don't have
Only
any.
dark orange. Because this is my dog, Doug.
It's Doug.
No, I'm shorter than you, Degament. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all I got. I'm desperately trying to finish him off. How many more weeks do we have?
It's
3
clicking
and a
up.
half.
It's 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 3
Yeah.
weeks technically is Wednesday or is Thursday.
Yeah, so I'm working on a clip now that I probably should have had it done like 2 weekends ago. That's about it. Cliffing along in gray and dark gray, feeling like a castle person.
We're not ashamed of you. We still like you, so it's okay. It's okay. But you're not doing trains. Is that correct? You're not coming?
I mean, Bryant. Okay, so it's a big weekend. This weekend we have super regionals for first Lego Robotics League for Natalie's Bear Bots. I love her
Ooh.
dearly. I think it's going to be fun, but I don't think they're going to go past super regionals. And then the 19th is STEM night at Natalie's school, and Brian is bringing out the GBC. And then he's bringing the GBC out on ABC. So there's a lot of GBC stuff going on. So no, we won't be at Trains. We'll be
I got you.
That and I just
GBC ready.
dropped on Brian's lap to build at least 4 tables by ABC too. So
That too. So we'll be here building tables and trying to prevent our dog from eating our very sought-after collection of Lego soccer balls.
Lego soccer balls.
Doug has eaten 10 of them.
They go good with a nice Swedish sauce.
Well, if he eats them, you'll find them again.
Oh, we found them.
You put that in the GBC and you go, you got to guess.
we
ball
found them
did
out
you
in the
go?
yard.
Which ball has been processed by Doug?
Mommy, I found a Lego soccer ball.
I wouldn't put that in your mouth, kid.
All right, who's ready to help out with the GBC loop here? You know,
Well, seeing as how there's going to be moon base and then my own display, it's going to be kind of hard for me to do.
I know. I'm teasing. I mean, don't you want to, help out with the balls that may or may have not gone through my dog's reproductive organs or
Supposedly there's a
You make it so enticing.
Yeah.
When I think of that, I think about the fact that there's wasn't it the bucket list? They talk about some particular coffee beans
Yes.
that are swallowed by
Digested.
cats, and then the cats defecate the coffee beans out, and then they roast those beans, and it's a special delicacy.
Doug does that for GBC balls.
Yeah.
You should have those as giveaways. This is the special Doug processed.
Doug processed.
All of our
GBC
volunteers get Doug processed GBC.
Oh man! With that classy note from our old lady in the room, we'll move. JW, what's up, man?
JW?
Jeff
Yeah. Bricks and Pieces orders from December 2nd have shipped today. So I should get an order hopefully by late next week, which means my classic space. Sorry?
Did you complain and get your $25 of the VIP points?
Well, I complained earlier this week and she said it should ship this week, and apparently she was right. So I guess I can't complain anymore. But I should get it for the end of next week, hopefully. And if so, I registered it as a mock as well. So I'm bringing that, and I'm bringing the spaceship that I'm working on for my Hainer, which it was bigger, but I've just decided to work on the cockpit and try and work backwards and get the rest of the ship going. So that's my current hellish task, shall we say, because it's just not working. But
understood.
But
good deal. Are y'all snowing, or are y'all wintering, or feeling warm? What's going on there?
It is. We have a storm coming in tonight, which would give us like 2 or 3 inches, I think. So a normal day. But it's actually been pretty green here for the past few weeks. Like we had the big storm just before Christmas, and within a week it was almost all gone. We just have some snowbanks left. So I lost basically 2 feet of snow in about a week, which was kind of crazy. So,
by the way, do I spot a beard being worked on?
Yeah, I just shaved down here because it was really bugging me, but I haven't shaved for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot. So, I don't know if it'll last till Atlanta BrickCon, but we'll see.
All right, is that so you can get through the border with the fake ID that you're, are you trying to?
No, because I didn't even think about. No, that wouldn't be an issue if I'm growing a beard and I'm not bearded in a photo, I hope. But,
just have a razor handy. If they're like, sir, this isn't literally, hang on, start shaving it off.
Then they'll arrest me for pulling out a weapon.
Oh, that's true. That's true. All right, let's check in with Matt. Matt, how are you?
First day of classes.
Was it?
Went pretty well. I am teaching a class on Southern politics. Who knew that I would have a student from South Korea who said that his country also has a North and a South? Which I suppressed the laughter at the moment. But and then I have 2 students from Scotland, one female student who sounds exactly like Brickmaster Amy, and I had to restrain myself from saying, I just love your accent. And I was like, don't say that. Don't say that. I wanted to ask her if she was Instagram friends with Facebook of Brickmaster Amy, but I didn't. But anyway, so that has nothing to do with Lego. I am mosaicing. So I think we've talked about this on Mosaic Monday. Dana and I and Jeff all have like some big projects in mind, and I think I'm going to try to work on it a little bit each night that we do a show, and that'll keep Chris from having to mute me for scraping things around. I'm just popping some little circles on, and I did some ordering, ordered some stuff off Shop Lego, placed 2 Bricklink orders, and so those little dots are winging their way to me. So this will be a long-term project. So I don't have all the dot colors handy. And then Mr. Dana actually hooked me up with some greens in our face-to-face meeting yesterday at the Lego store. So slowly amassing the 98,000 dots that I will need to complete this mega project. And then tomorrow, another member of our lug who managed to get a whole case of the collectible minifigs that we split 3 ways. He's going to come over and we're going to open them up. So it'll be like CMF Christmas. We're going to open up the whole box and make sure we got 3 complete sets, and we'll divvy those up. So I will finally get my hands on, Brown Spaceman and all the other beautiful CMFs that I've seen you guys tease on camera, but I have not laid my hands on any of them yet. So I see Moto has updated that the average height of in US that's for US males 5'9". So I am above average. I didn't even realize. I thought I was average. So
We have
All
always
right.
known.
I don't know. There's a lot of lug stuff going on. We had a lug board meeting and blah 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 blah, but nobody on this channel really wants to hear about that. So my Lego stuff has been a fair amount of administrative and yakking and doing all that jazz. So, but here we are. Can you see it? It's the thing
Is
about
that
pointillism. You got to stand about 10 feet back before you see anything. So
I want
right
to see
now,
the
this
I
is
want to
like-
see the kid that Cameron stares at. That's what you need to build. I need to see that.
I may need to build that as a 3-dimensional relief that stands out from the painting. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be super
Like
cool.
you could walk around and you could have like Cameron standing there and like with the Red Wings jersey and the how. That would be pretty awesome. I'm
I'm for it.
tempted. That might get added on after I do the whole thing. So.
That would be cool. All right, good deal. I'm excited to see that. I'm glad you enjoy building mosaics. This is my non-toxicity coming through. I am glad you enjoy building those accursed things. So okay, so
I'll be back. I gotta go put Natalie to bed. Fingers crossed.
no
5 to
toxic
10 minutes.
All right.
preteen going to bed. All right, there we go. Good deal. Mr. Sandlin, how are you this evening?
I am doing okay. I finished Starry Night on Tuesday, I think.
Ooh.
It's really cool. I put a shorter Technic arm to have Van go on off to the side here, so he's tucked in a little closer. But it's really pretty. It's a really very nice looking set, and I'm going to put it in the living room on one of my side tables, and it will look nice.
Art.
It's art.
Art.
Yes, I took 5 semesters of art history, so I can appreciate it.
And appreciate it, you do.
Money
It's-
well
yeah,
spent.
I mean, I have to use my degree for something.
Money well spent.
Money well spent. Yes.
How is your weekend looking? Are you building? Are you crafting? Are you gaming?
I don't currently have any Lego projects. Really, it's kind of quiet right now. Small Ball has made a gigantic mess, which we might work on. The other side of the room over the floor is covered in Small Paul stuff everywhere. There's dragons and robots and
Small Paulage.
yes, he has spread his Lego play everywhere, and we might have to work on that when he's here.
That sounds pretty normal.
Yeah, he kind of nothing gets put away. He sort of plays in an area and then he moves to the next clear space in the room and gets more stuff out.
Yes,
So-
Jake does that still. I tell him he's like a goldfish. He survives until he dirties up a bowl, and then you have to put him in another one, and clean up after yourself and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. All right. Well, good deal. Good deal. All right, Mr. Dana, what's up in your world?
Friggin' moon base. That's all I got. Friggin' moon base.
What is the hate on the moon base, man? Come
No,
on.
it's not hate. It's not hate, but I'm just realizing that my life is going to be freaking Mills plates for the next 2 weeks. But in the excitement, because I wanted to do something new. Actually, I didn't plan on doing something new, but because those farm figures just look so good with an air tank on it, I had to do a space farm. So I've got 2 plates done. You can see there
Ooh.
are sunflowers back there, some wheat, other vegetation. There's a little bunny. There's a space bunny. And then
Space rabbit.
space rabbits. And then this one is all corn and pumpkins. Because I thought that would be fun. Corn and pumpkins. And then because if I've got those, I had to add in a hub corridor and junction piece, and again keeping that same color scheme with the farm. However, I made some bricklink orders to get the 2 greenhouse is done, but then I forgot the pieces for this. So I had to place another Bricklink order today to get more stuff to fix that up. But the nice thing is that as I start building these things for the ground floor, I can just pop them on the plate and they're good to go. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Otherwise, I did start cannibalizing all the pieces from all of my Moonbase plates. So these will all get milled in the next week or so. I'm going to have to go to the Container Store and get something just to be able to carry these, because I know that I'm assuming that this stack will go from being this tall to about this tall by the time I'm said and done. So that will be entertaining. As Matthew mentioned, we did meet and we went and had burgers at our favorite little craft burger by Shane. We missed you. We thought of you. But
When was this?
This was Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. It was yesterday. And since I was walking into the Lego store, I had to grab a couple more CMF bags. So I'm up to a few more babies.
Had to.
So I'm up to 9 babies. And then 2, 4, 6. I'm up to 8 otters.
Otter pack.
Otter pack.
That's
Otter
utter
battle
ridiculous, Dana.
What's that?
I said that's utterly ridiculous.
It's utterly ridiculous. It's utterly inconceivable that I would want otters this bad. But no, so we're going to do otters. Something's going to happen with the otters. I don't know if something's going to happen with the otters before Atlanta BrickCon, but I would like to try and build an otter mech or something like that too.
Obviously, they need a habitat in the moon base.
With a pool and just otters swimming in it. It could happen. It could happen. It could happen. I would have to hook up with Mark and borrow some of his curved panels to make more of another habitat. But that could happen.
You ought to stop while you're ahead.
I otter, but I probably won't. So that's all I got going on.
Very good. Well,
I had to step away to take care of the stupid dog. Anyway, I missed all the otter puns. I'm utterly disappointed.
It's an otter shame. It is.
All right. So, all right. Anyway, so we want to talk really quick with Ryan. Tell us about, so Legoland Florida is an all-season park. Legoland New York is, a fair weather park, I guess. So, how is that different for you and your busyness and everything? I know you got stuff to do, and I know you can't tell us everything, but tell me how that's different and what's it like, and what do you do different there?
So it's been interesting because prior to coming to Legoland New York, I had just been in the production arm where we made the models for all these other parks, and all the other parks were always open. I never really considered anything about seasonal parks. And then I got here, and then we closed down for the first winter while we were still under construction. Still didn't really think about it. But then last year we closed for the first time after our first real full entire season. And with that comes an opportunity to kind of like breathe a little bit because we're so busy most of the rest of the time. We repair and replace as much as we can during the operating year, but being closed in the winter, not only on the model side, but resort wide, gives us a chance to, like I said, take a little breather for all the departments, kind of do some training, kind of evaluate guest comments and things like that. From the Lego side of it, one of the most common questions we get during the course of the year is what happens to the Lego models during the winter. And I don't know if we've ever discussed that on the show before. Do you guys have any guesses what we do with our models during the winter?
No, but now I'm curious.
You give them one of those rust undercoating that cars get up north?
We blast the undercarriage of all the models. No. So actually, we leave almost everything out. The plastic doesn't really get affected by the cold all that much. There was a study, I saw a viral video not too long ago where it was like minus 4,000 degrees Kelvin or something that the plastic Lego withstood. Unless you do something to it, like if you're hitting it with a hammer or manipulating it in some way, the cold Lego is not really affected by the weather. So for the most part, unless we have to remove it because it's in an area that we might, walk or step or work in during the winter, we just leave it out. And one of the very awesome side effects that we saw in doing this was come spring, the snow actually ended up washing off all the models for us. We were concerned we were going to have to spend a bunch of the springtime power washing, and instead it did it for us. So we were able to spend more of our time working on new things instead of just always cleaning and working on the old stuff, which was completely unexpected to me coming from the other side of it.
Well,
But otherwise, last year we closed at Thanksgiving. This year we didn't close till New Year's, so we actually had a bunch of holiday activities and models and festivities and things that we hadn't done last year, which was really fun. Except it was freezing cold, so the guests turned up, and we got to hang out and play with them and enjoy the warmth of the buildings once we got to go inside them for a little bit. So there's a little bit of pros and cons to being seasonal. Yes, we might be open through the holidays, but then we close again until it warms up again in the spring. So I think they've officially announced that we're reopening March 31st, right before spring break here in the Northeast. So
and
it'll
if they
basically,
haven't, we just broke news here on Old Gray Bricks.
yeah, I think I'm okay.
There you go.
But
Now,
yeah, once we reopen, it'll basically be full speed ahead from spring break onwards.
So I'm gonna propose that you guys do Christmas in July, and that way it'll be warm enough for people to come and enjoy the holidays.
That
There you
would be
go.
nice. Christmas in July. Yeah, we've
Now,
got.
go ahead.
You go ahead.
Well, I remember we went to
You're the boss.
Legoland, Florida when the year it opened, and it was at Christmas time. Oh, at Christmas time, yeah, that's right, because we took Jake.
But Christmas in
And-
Florida is like 70 degrees.
Yeah. But they did have the little snow spewers on top of the lamp posts and everything that were like sudsy snow and everything, and that was really kind of fun and funny and cool and everything. I don't think y'all need that probably up there.
No,
Is that
we
correct?
we had real snow a couple times, so it was actually a much more mild December than I expected. I was half secretly hoping we were going to have a really snowy December and that they would decide to never do it again. But we actually had a relatively easy December, so we're going to do it again in 2023.
How
That's
was attendance in the November, December? Did you get a decent number of visitors, I assume?
I don't know, because this year was the baseline, so we'll have to
Okay.
see how it goes next year. Now that word has gotten out about our winter activities, I'll
Cool.
say this: I was surprised, both as a fan as an employee, how many people turned out to enjoy our park in the freezing temperatures. Um, I had to be paid to be there. Let's just say that. So the people who did come enjoyed it. We had good guest comments and good guest experiences. We had things like s'more stations and a lot of stuff in our indoor interior spaces. The big shop was nice and warm, so there were always places to go when you weren't out in Miniland enjoying snow-covered buildings in sub 32-degree temperatures and things like that. But a couple of the rides were open, so it's sort of a reduced experience for a reduced price. But with all the theming and stuff we did for this Christmas, I think it was really nice.
As a former upstate New Yorker, I can tell you why they were out there, because there ain't anything else to do after the leaves come down in the cold.
It's been interesting. We're already having a knock-on effect in the surrounding areas. Some of the other theme parks in the area are now planning to or are already starting to stay open past the Labor Day weekend, which is when they would traditionally close for schools to start back up because all their staff have gone back to school. So it's been interesting. We haven't been open very long, and it's already having an effect on competitors.
Yeah, that's cool.
And how does that work for your staff in the model shop? Are most of your model shop employees, are they like 365-day employees, or do you
Yeah,
staff
my
up for the
my
summer?
department is very fortunately full-time year-round, no seasonal staff at all.
Okay.
Which is good because I was not really looking forward to the idea of losing and rehiring people every single season like a lot of the other departments have to do. Not that I mind recruiting, but I like sticking with people that I know and love. And I also get to boast that I'm the only team in the entire park that has had zero turnover, um, which is pretty fantastic. It helps that we're not a seasonal department, but I have not had to rehire any vacancies other than the two positions that I've just gotten added to my team, which was we got a new animator. They make the things move and dance and sing and all that. And then we just opened a designer position, which I'm working to recruit right now. There's my plug for it if anybody's interested. Um, It's
don't
our
wanna
it's
live
our
in New
it's our
York.
first designer's position on my team, and I'm looking forward to having that spot to help me out with designs.
Cool. You have not made a good commercial for the weather up there, so no.
Yeah.
That's all
Mark,
right. It's actually kind of funny because I love the cold normally, but for some reason this year I've been wearing jackets because I've been like chilled to the bone, and they're like, "Ah, you're a New Yorker now. Great."
I got you. So
what
yeah,
does
you're a California, Florida guy. So how big? How long did it take for the adjustment, or has you fully adjusted?
I was good until this winter. Like literally, I was wearing t-shirt and shorts in 30-degree temperatures the last 2 winters we were here, and this year I've worn a jacket most days because I don't know what happened, but it's cold.
That's why I don't live there anymore.
what does a designer do, or what would the designer do in your department?
So they would help me fulfill internal customer needs. So let's say the marketing department comes to me and says, I need a 3 foot tall model of XYZ to be delivered by March 15th to help us for announcing the opening of the park or whatever it is. I'm making up a scenario. Up until this point, I've largely had to design anything that wasn't just a mini land model because builders on my team like Joey can pretty much handle anything mini land scale at this point. But it's more the sculptural sort of Legoland style look that they haven't gotten an opportunity to do so much yet. And I did kind of years of that in my prior department. So I've had to do a lot of that, and I'm looking to help train up a 3D familiar artist or designer or hands-on maker or crafter to do that on my team. Whether we hire internally or externally, I'm looking at all candidates.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Awesome.
Do you pay better than college professors?
Actually, they might.
They might. I'm only half joking when I ask it.
We can talk offline if you want, but the job description is on merlincareers.com.
All right.
Cool. So let me ask you, in comparison to Florida, your ability to take time off and repair and everything, does that mean that you'll be able to upkeep the displays a better? Because I'm sure Florida weather is a lot tougher on models than New York weather, I'm guessing. But
yeah, so just as an example, and I don't mind getting too much into the nitty gritty. Legoland Florida opened in 2011, so they're already 10 years old. Some of those models have already been replaced twice now in their miniland. Most Legoland Park models can have their exterior UV coating and their first faded like microscopic layer of plastic blasted off by shells, and there's different processes you can for blasting off plastic. But anyway, you can usually do that a couple times before a model is retired, but they've already retired 2 sets of models. So that gives you a sort of baseline look at how the weather is treating the Florida models. It was basically so bad that they had to take the sort of exemplary step of they added a big dome, a canopy dome over their shade structure. So I'm using the wrong word. A canopy shade structure over their entire mini land last summer. It was a very expensive endeavor, but now what you have is an entirely shade covered mini land that will hopefully help protect the plastic models that shouldn't be out in the Florida weather a little bit longer. Our models in New York are acting much more comparable to the European parks. So if you picture Billund or Windsor or Deutschland, they were also seasonal parks, and some of their models, in fact, in Denmark, I believe they still have originals that have been reblasted and recoded a couple times. They've obviously refurbished a lot too, but theirs are holding up a lot better. So I wouldn't place any bets that some of our 2020 sorry, what year is it? Our 2021 opening models will last 40, 50 years, but they're still looking pretty darn good after being out in the sun for a couple.
cool. That's interesting. I mean, and then you get the added bonus of a couple months off, polish them up, all that kind of stuff. That's awesome for that. Because
Yeah, so right now we're like replacing things that either got taken or broken. We're adding a lot of features. We're also working on some of the plans that can't be announced yet for things that we would like to roll out this coming year. I just got a pot of capital expenditure money that I get to spend on Miniland that I'm pretty excited about. We also have real estate that we can add additional city clusters to in the future. And what those clusters might represent, I can't say and I don't know yet. But we also have lots of real estate to continue adding rides and other attractions throughout the resort.
Oh, that's awesome. Will they ever put Star Wars back into Miniland? Is that ever going to happen again? Because that was an amazing display, and then it got axed. So
I would not count
you
on
can't really
it.
comment.
I can't say anything because I don't know anything, but Disney took it away once. I wouldn't count on Disney bringing it back again. So
Hmm.
it's
You
funny.
think
We
that
had an adult night activity not that long ago, and one of our build prompts was, "What do you want to see in Legoland New York in 2023?" And we had a couple of people build Star Wars things, and we were like, "Man, I loved your build, but you know what? Unfortunately, Star Wars is not going to be happening again here anytime soon."
is that because it's a rival amusement park competitor, probably?
So I don't have an official answer. So take this as just a fan and an employee who happens to hear things and can speculate about different things. Um, but once upon a time, Merlin and Disney had an agreement in place about the Miniland features and stuff. I believe before that contract was even up, Disney made a decision about the conflicting sort of nature of Star Wars attractions in Florida at the time and coming in California. They were in the middle of trying to open Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which was a Star Wars land. Meanwhile, Legoland Florida and California and all our other Legoland parks around the world were advertising their Star Wars Miniland. And rumor has it on the streets that I visit that was too confusing, or they deemed it too confusing for their guests and decided to just eliminate the confusion and eliminate our Star Wars content entirely.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that. So
I'm not shocked, but I'm like, who in the world would be like, you know what? More important that I want to go see is the Lego Miniland and not the whole Disney park. You know, I would be totally brand confused by that. Not. I mean, that's ridiculous.
But you know, I can see them doing. I could see them doing a Lego Miniland Star Wars in Disney World.
Oh yeah. I wonder if that would happen.
Because
Or
that
no.
would benefit Disney. Yes, I could see that happening as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not that it would benefit Lego, but it would benefit Disney.
Can I just thought about, is the Miniland style something that like Merlin and Lego protects and copyrights? So like if they did a display in another spot, would that be used? I know in the Discovery Centers they use minifig scale mostly and everything. So is
I don't know. I don't know if there's any legalese behind that. I know Miniland is a part of some of the official brand and identity guidelines within Lego. I don't know that there's any verbiage around that being exclusive to Legoland, but I mean, Lego and Disney kind of make and change their own rules all the time, and we still have to adhere to them even if they don't. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I could see it happening, but also they can sort of do whatever they want.
Yeah, I understand. I just wondered if that was because I mean Lego's really going after the copyright of the minifig as being a thing, super thing. It's kind of the last thing they can really hold on to copyright wise. And I just wondered if Miniland figure style was something that they protected heavily or whatever. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not aware of, and I haven't heard of any like litigation around that kind of stuff. And there's only really been one official set that I'm aware of that had Minilanders in it. It was a Legoland branded set. It was like a family. But as far as I can recall, I've never seen or heard of any other ones other than like a couple of Toy Fair and Star Wars Celebration related things. But those are almost not quite as official as the other set that I'm referring to. So I don't know. I doubt it's as protected as the minifigure.
Yeah, I just wondered if they went after somebody, if they made a display and everything. I wonder if they would go pouncing on them or whatever. So, Matt, what were you saying? I'm sorry, I ran over you.
Yeah, when you got hired on, obviously you were trying to launch a whole new park, and so I'm sure you had a ton of stuff that was on your drawing board and probably a huge list of to-dos. Are you settling now more into kind of like a maintenance tweak mode, or are you still like ramping things up even though the park's been open for a bit now?
It's a bit of both. There's a little bit of annual maintenance that will go on during this off season, simply because there's no guests around to get in the way of some of those things that we need to do. Like for the most part, we try not to get in and take massive skyscraper buildings apart while guests are during the operating year. simply because we'd be open at 10 in the morning for guests and then closing at 5 or 6 in the evening. We couldn't really leave skyscrapers just like half gutted with steel beams sticking out of the ground. So we can do a lot of our checks and things on, the lighting in the buildings and checking the foundations of the steel frames that are inside the skyscrapers, making sure those are all good. We've obviously had to winterize a lot of things. So that's a little bit of work, but we have a great team of facilities guys who work with us. It's been a kind of good collaborative effort. But to sort of answer your question one more time, it's both. I've tried to get in as much new stuff as possible now before like the models start deteriorating so badly that the maintenance takes over. But like I said, the winter has not been nearly as brutal as we expected. I also keep expecting, with my lack of experience with the Northeast, for just like one big ice storm to somehow wreak a bunch of havoc that I wasn't expecting. But that, knock on wood, hasn't happened yet.
So like if you have a big tall building and you need to take it out for maintenance, you pull like the top off of it. Could you just take a couple of Lego construction guys and just sit on there and be good? Because the kids are like, oh look, this under construction. I mean, what an idea! There it is.
Yeah, sort of. We've actually done that a couple times. Like Lego Joey. Sorry, Joey to me, not to you guys. He's done a lot of construction vehicles that represented a lot of the ones that were on site and continue to be on site while we add features. And sometimes for the smaller buildings, when those locations have been vacated by the buildings we've taken out, he's dropped the construction vehicles in. So it's obvious that something is coming back or will be coming soon.
Right. Like the old Lego, if 404, if something was not there, to have the Lego.com would have the construction guys on there, which I always thought was kind of funny. And by the way, Lego Joy is a really nice kid. He's a talented kid. You definitely need to hang on to that guy. He seems like a neat kid. So
yeah, I really enjoy getting to work with him and my other guys on my team. Like I said, I'm so glad that I've gotten to retain some really awesome people.
That's awesome. All right. Let's talk toxic fans. We don't have, we don't have a ton of time, but Dana, you are the one who kind of spurred on when our little pre-planning meeting that was 5 minutes and a text this afternoon. So, which is all of our
I gotta interrupt real quick. Dana, you have to build this carrot bot for your farm.
I saw that from Littlebot today. That is, it's friggin' awesome. Yeah, I saw that. Littlebot is. I'm a big fan of Littlebot. He does some great builds. Yeah. And I saw that carrot today, and I was like, "Oh, that is cool. That is cool."
They're on the. If you go the minifig box, they're the back left. So at least that's what they were for mine. So.
Oh no, I have the carrot. But him saying I actually need to build. I need to build a bigger carrot bot for the bunny.
Yes.
So instead of it being the head, the face of the little bot in there, it would be a little cockpit for the bunny.
Nice. That's awesome. That's super.
I think that would have to happen. But so. Last night, as I was getting ready to wind down my day, surfing Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, social media, and there was somebody who had posted and said, "Can we all just, decide to stop posting the brown spaceman hauls?" And I was like, I was feeling snarky, so I posted a haul picture of all my orange spacemen that I got from Lugboat. And then another guy, one of my compatriots in Classic Space, decided to post all of his green spacemen from the exosuits and the city set that the Futron looking dude came from. And there was more comments about, you guys just aren't getting the there's people out there who are hoarding the brown spacemen and showing these haul pictures, and they're scooping them up, and I was like, well, yeah, that's gonna happen. And I didn't even think about it till I went and looked at Bricklink. But the average price of a brown spaceman with the little baby dude is going for $9, and somebody bought like 18 of them for like $15, which I still think that's strange, and that Bricklink prices are I think it's a drug front personally.
From Lego, yes.
No, somebody's, I don't know. Somebody's shipping something else with these Lego and up in the charge on them. But it was really interesting, and how much people were going back and forth about, there's nothing wrong with it versus it being, adding toxicity to the Lego fandom. And it really kind of, I was like, is this your first time Because, I mean,
Are you gatekeeping? You're gatekeeping. I hear it in your voice.
well, no, that was kind of it, because that was one of the comments, is that somebody who was justifying that they weren't hoarding, because hoarding would be if you kept them packaged to flip them or sell them, but he actually was taking them out and was adding them to his display, and he was being accused of elitism, or that he had he was flexing his Lego collection in some way, shape, or form. And I was like, well, geez, you really don't want to see my Instagram page.
I was gonna say, have you seen YouTube, like at the beginning of a Lego launch? It's like, here's my haul for today. I mean,
Exactly. I mean, there was a point in time at Christmas where people were showing stacks of Lego sets. Hell, one of our members here, his son still continues to this day to get a huge Lego stack. Actually, that might be more than one person on here. But anyway, I mean, it just kind of made me laugh. I'm like, are people still complaining about Lego hauls and that people, flexing? I mean, I don't know. Was this person being a little too sensitive, or was I being a little too insensitive? I'm not quite sure.
Well, I think there's a difference in, like, okay, so my Walmart got one box and I just happened to be there. Literally, the lady was putting it on the shelf. She had opened it. It looked like somebody had rifled through it a little bit, and I was worried. And of course, I started on the wrong side, and it took me about, 80% of that box to find the brown spacemen. I ran across three because they're stacked together. I took them. I had my piles. There's 3 piles. This is what I want. This is what I might want. And then this is what's going back, or maybe if I don't put it back in there, I don't know. But anyway, so I got my 3. There may have been another one in there. I didn't dig for long. And so I got my 3 out of there and everything. That's one thing per se, because you're pretty sure there's going to be more boxes hitting the Walmart, right?
Yeah.
But if you go in and you clear out the 501st sets, like the whole run, that's a whole different level of whatever and everything. Especially, my brown spacemen are for me. I'm not buying them to resell them per se.
But there is the argument that I've heard that, well, they just came out. Can't you just get one and leave the other 2 for somebody else who comes along?
I sat there for 30. No, I don't know. I said for 30 minutes. I worked for those minifigures.
To answer Brick Dude's question, they are on the left-hand side of the box at about the middle of the box.
Yeah,
it's per my experience at this point in time. But no, I walked into the Lego store on release day. I wasn't there at open. I came in 10 minutes after they opened. So the first box had already been rifled through. There may have been 2 boxes that have been rifled through before I got there. I'm fortunate enough to have, we'll call it a perk. They brought out a new case for me, and I took a full set of figures plus 2 additional brown spacemen. And you know what? The Lego store employee said, good for you. So, if I don't see the harm. Should we only, if they were making it to where you could only buy them in sets of 12 and you got one of every figure, well, that would be a whole different thing. But they're individually packaged. Is there a problem with it?
I think part of it also is that people are going and they're not finding them, and like seems to be a shortage at this moment. Like my local toy store got 2 boxes as well, and they put them out on the shelf before January 1st, and they were all gone. Right. So now there's a mad, oh my God, I'm going to miss out. I'm not going to get these, even though we know there's probably skids going to each of these stores eventually, right? Like,
right.
And it's just, yeah.
So you think that it's an inflated demand because they've been slow to ship them out?
There's a demand for them because it's a new color, and I can understand that there's going to be a huge demand for them. But yes, it's like I got a full set. I ended up ordering 48 of them from my local toy store online,
right,
in order to try and get three full sets, and I did. So that worked out well. But I ended up spending $300+ for 48 of them,
right.
And I'm selling off 2 of those sets anyhow. But it's to friends and stuff. So
Right.
but yeah, I think it's just, that was my thing. I walked to this toy store. They said, yeah, we don't have any. You can try our online store. I tried there. It was sold out. So I was in the car and then I ordered from a different store right at that moment because it's like, I don't want to not get these.
Yeah.
When my brain was like, but you will, right? You will.
I mean, I remember, we were, Meredith was shooting me pictures 2 weeks before release. And I was feeling
she was wanting you pictures. I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, this is called when you have a child and a dad home on Christmas break, and there's rumors that Target has them on end caps, and they're bored. It's just what's going to happen.
Exactly. And this was one of the few times where I didn't find them early. They were all out before I was able to get to my Target, and I only got like three or four, and they weren't even the ones I was looking for. But like Brick Dude says, it's the thrill of the hunt, because that was even what I mentioned to the guy on social media, that he's like, it's two totally different beasts when you lug bulk a whole bunch of orange spacemen versus you going out to the store. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, because I was fortunate enough to be in a lug that had gotten them, so that was fortunate. But for somebody who's going out and going to 5 or 6 different targets and probably coming up empty-handed at a bunch of them and finally finding a few, yeah, they're going to be excited. It's the thrill of the hunt. They've put in the time and the effort and gotten the luck of finding them. Don't begrudge them from that. And is this person, could they have just been feeling the FOMO because they haven't found one? Is that probably more than likely?
Here's my solution, and here's the mindset I think the person who is sensitive about this is. They are clearly not in a lug, because I know if I could not find them, or if you could not find, or anyone could not find them, and someone posted in the lug Discord like, I can't find any, someone would find you a space person or a couple of them and say, just pay me $4 or $5, whatever the heck they cost.
Right. That's Mark.
I'm getting mine from Jason in our lug, because he was on the show Monday. And I think it was maybe after show, he was saying, hey, does anybody need some of these? I'm like, yeah, I'll take them.
Yeah.
So I think that person who is sensitive about the topic, they just need to get their own network. I mean, they're scalpers, but I mean, I'm pretty sure if you have Lego friends and you say, listen, if they're in a different geographic area, I'm desperate for, brown space people and their space babies. Right. If you're a good enough person, one of your friends will do that for you.
And I refrained because I played the high road with my comments and explained that yes, he had they had a valid point. It was a valid pet peeve. Social media, that is, that's the nature of the beast. People are going to share. They're going to show what they've found, because social media is full of narcissists. They're going to brag about whatever it is they've done, this, that, the other. It's going to happen. But my thought was, I'm like, where have you been for the last 4 years when every time something like this happens and people are showing? I'm sure that the Classic Space Facebook groups and Instagram feeds were nothing but Galaxy Explorers for a month. First time. How many? All right. So Jeff Van Winnen, can you casually pull out an entire tray of Forestmen or CMF Knights from just recently? This particular person was complaining about something that pretty much happens every season. Yeah, look at that.
But they fell off the base plate during a fall. So, but I've got like 2 of these boxes full of these guys, the armored dudes, and
exactly.
And little girl.
And I know Intense did the same thing. I know that Xavier, he's done the same thing. They went out and grabbed army builders because that's what you're going to do.
And see, that's the one of the natures of this. And it can be argued, and I think we argued a little bit about it. CMFs are a little bit of a aggravation because it's like, I just want the fig. I don't want to do the hunt, but you do go hunt it. But Intense, when he was finding that, he was like, hey, I mean, in a comment, he was like, hey, do you want me to be looking for you?
Yeah.
And if he does, you know, he can text me or whatever. And if he finds something, I'll say yay or nay. So it definitely can be, you know, a friend helping. Now, I will say I got my browns. Then I'm like, okay, I got them. Hey, I found them. Because I don't want anybody coming and scalping them from me. I get it. So, I mean, that's the nature of the beast.
I guess my perspective on this is a little bit colored by my other collecting hobby, which has been Star Wars action figures. And I would say that the people who will run out and go to every GameStop and buy up the super exclusive, hard to find figure before anybody else can even get there at 10 a.m. is one of the reasons that I stopped going to stores to buy things. Like, it literally killed the fun of collecting action figures. And to the extent that I still collect things, I just pre-order. And if I can't pre-order, I don't even try to go in stores and look for it. So, and I, you know, and I have seen people in that realm of collecting, you know, post these kind of, I would say, obscene collections of super hard to get figures that I don't know, you know, if they paid someone at the store to make sure they got all the hard to find figures, but it's pretty aggravating. Now, I I tend to see CMFs as not being as scarce. Like, if you're patient, you'll get more of them. You know, like, I'm pretty patient. I'm splitting a case with Shannon and another lug member. And even if somebody hadn't found a case at Barnes and Noble, I know if I wait a month, I'll eventually get what I want. It's just a matter of being patient. But there is, I think, a threshold that people can cross where it borders on conspicuous consumption. And, like, in your case, you're Spaceman crazy. Like, you're not doing it to make anybody else feel bad. You love Spaceman, and that's fine. It's the people, it's like, you know, the let's just say younger person who wants to flex, like they have a, you know, a credit card from mom and dad or whatever, and they can just spend whatever they want. That I do find a little distasteful.
I want one of those.
Me too.
Yeah,
I do too.
It's the same.
I want a sugar parent.
Yeah.
Where does one get one?
Think we missed our opportunities.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. So, and Jake ain't getting one, so we're fresh out.
So intense. No, you shouldn't be feeling guilty because
No.
you had to do the legwork. I mean, it's not like you can just, you know, go online and order 18 of those figures. You had to run to different places, and you got, you know, I'm sure you probably walked into multiple stores and found zero. And, you know, eventually you would find one and eventually you'd find another, because that's how the hunt is. It's effort.
Yeah.
Mark, you're mute.
Sorry. He's in the same part of town as Mark and Steven, so they're like, I can't find any Falcons anywhere.
Which actually makes it even that much sweeter.
Enjoy your trophy. I got all your Falcons.
Exactly. So Chris was asking, so what are we gonna do for a topic tonight? And I'm like, whiny babies who can't find their figures or something like that. And so it just made me laugh that this person got a little, and I really wouldn't have thought more about it, except for I'm an admin and I started getting flagged for some inappropriate comments where somebody kind of was like, dude, just block me, you know, if you don't want to see my figures or whatever like that. And I was like, all right, so there's still some negativity out there about people posting when they find something. I just found it entertaining. So I'm a member of the modular forum, and there was a stretch there where people would just post these haul photos of like all the boxes that they had bought at the store. Oh yeah.
And eventually the admins were like, this is a modular forum, not a box forum. If you have a picture of a built modular, you can post that.
Right.
But we will no longer allow you just to post a picture of stacks of boxes of unbuilt sets. And I agreed with that. I was like, I love seeing people who have, you know, built something, but the fact that, you know, you dropped to $2,000 at the store it just tells me that you've either got cash or you got credit. It doesn't tell me that
Right.
you love modulars. Like, I want to see you build something with it.
Oh.
If you're going to build the whole row and you're going to go out there and buy a green grocer and drop 1,000, then tip of the hat. But let's see it built. Let's not just see it in the box.
Well, and that's the thing, is that everybody who's been posting the brown spacemen or the blue babies, they've been building stuff, or they've customized them already. And so it's like, I'm like, they're literally doing exactly what you're supposed to do with them. So, yeah,
they're playing with them.
They're playing with them.
Well, there's going to be fandom jealousy. I would say Mark and I experienced the time we got the opportunity. It was a gracious opportunity to build sets. There was some blowback. I don't know if you remember a lot of that, Mark. But there were a lot of people who were like, "Why don't they get to do it and we don't?" and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you get your shot. You work. I mean, we didn't purposely work it so that we would be trusted by Lego, but we were just at the right place at the right time. And instead of being jerks about it, we were just really friendly to the people we met. We piled around them. We were good evangelists for the product, and they reached out to us to do that and everything. Did we earn that? Well, I guess by being decent humans, I guess, and not weird fanboys and all that kind of stuff. So, you can't, obviously, if you're jealous of somebody who, gets that kind of thing, then you probably wouldn't have been, had the moral fortitude or whatever to really be somebody they would want to be in that project anyway, I guess. I don't know. So
well, I mean, I had a teacher tell me one time that people like to work with nice people. And if you're difficult to deal with, people don't want to work with you. And if you happen to be nice to people.
And that's why you went into IT?
No, that's a completely different. No, that's a whole different. Have I not had the conversation with you that I've had multiple HR people tell me that I don't fit the whatever the model is for IT employees? I'm an anomaly in my field. So, but
you are definitely an anomaly. You could carry on a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, people like to work with nice people, and it's funny because I've said this multiple times. Befriend your Lego store employees, because they will hold a set for you. They will, make sure that you get what's coming out instead of you having to worry about it. It's nothing to them. They don't care. They're still getting paid their same dollar value to sell you whatever it's going to be. But it doesn't hurt for you to be nice to them, because they will pay in kind the favor back to you. And it all comes back to, what? If you're nice to people, things happen. So
that also works for your waitress at Waffle House. If they know you by name, your friends, you get more hash browns that way. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Which goes back to, if you're a nice person in your lug, someone's going to help you out.
Exactly. And if you're not a nice person in your lug.
Yesterday, after Dana and I went to North Point, and they did not have any of the things I was looking for except for the otters, I stopped at Sugarloaf, and Dana said, "Hey, if they've got some of the candy canes and the BAM, and they've got some of the bluebirds and whatever," I was like, "Yeah, I'll probably get a BAM, 15 parts." So I walk in, and the longtime store manager there, he's like, "Oh, dude," he's like, "some lady spent 2 hours going through the band, vacuuming up all those new parts." And I was like, "Well, I'll just paw through here and maybe I'll get lucky." And so he saw that, I was definitely interested. And I said, Dana's looking for candy canes too. He goes back in the back and gets a very large tub and just starts pulling all the parts out of the BAM. And he's like, "Here's one, here's one, here's one." And so in like 10 minutes, I had 4 candy canes for Dana and 4 candy canes for me, and, a bunch of bluebirds. And he didn't have to do that at all. It was also, it was a Wednesday at like 2. They weren't busy, but he could have sat there at the table. He was building a set for a store window. He could have just kept right on doing that instead of helping me out. So it's one of those things where, I listen to him talk about his obsessions with tea and hot stove burners and trains, and he helps me out. So, tip of the hat to Mr. Adam for coming through yesterday for me. So
I would have assumed it was because you mentioned Dynasty.
I got the sand blue bunny, which I didn't even know existed. So
There's a sand blue bunny.
There is a sand
there's
blue
a
bunny.
sand blue bunny.
That was yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know there was a sand blue bunny. All right. So, are there any other? I mean, I know that there's always complaining. Like I've really enjoyed the new whatever car from Fast and Furious, and that's hard to find for some and everything. But then there's like really just hardcore complaining about that set because it has studs on top and stuff like that. And it's, Lego made a horrible model and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, you can change it.
I think there's a lot of toxicity to the designers when the fact that they work for Lego. Lego probably says, okay, designer Jane/Joe, you're building X. Here's your parameters. You can use this many parts. You can have this many stickers. You can have no unique parts or no new parts. Go. It's not like they're saying, you know what? I'm a Lego designer. I'm going to make this set suck. This set suck for everyone in the fandom. I mean, it's like they're doing a job. I guarantee you people who work at Lego love working at Lego. They're not intentionally making a set crappy because they want to. Those two know that when you make a set, Lego's going to come in and give you parameters. And I think most of the time they do great, with the exception of the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader set. And probably whoever had to make that one, I feel very sorry for them because that looks like the most soulless set ever created.
Yeah, I don't think Lego designers are sitting around going, "How can I piss off Reddit today?"
Yeah.
Well, and I also say, the whole idea, if you don't like the build, you can modify it. I mean, Mr. Sandlin there bought his Razor Crest and completely redid the little intakes and made it prettier. I mean, or made it more movie accurate. What are you going to call it? But like, it's not a plastic model that you can only glue together one way. It's Lego. You can change it.
Exactly.
So I feel bad for some of the designers that get the heat on Reddit and other places. It's just like, that's what happens when you work with a corporation. They're going to give you parameters, and the designer has to do the best with what they're given.
Well, and again, it all comes back to that sense of entitlement that certain people get of that, well, I want it my way. Well, you don't always get it your way. learn to be disappointed. It happens. So
I will say my toxicity is people who have liked Friends for the last 30 seconds, because there's a lot of them these days. There's a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, Friends is the best, has the best builds, best everything, so much better than City. It's like, come on, let's just say Friends was the redheaded stepchild. Everyone hates mini dolls. And now it's like, it's super cool to get a Friends set.
Well, I will be honest and say Friends Sets Town is better, tons better than but that's not the designer. That's the marketing department said, here's what we're building, and boom.
Or the parameters they're given.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Friends makes better City sets than City.
Yes.
For sure.
But there are people who apparently discovered this like a month ago, and now that's, all they want to talk about. It's like,
Well, I'll tell you what, that Friends Theater may have opened some eyes that were not previously open. That was a fantastic set.
I saw somebody turn that theater into a modular and still kept it with the door where the front would open up so that you could see inside. They built a back to it, kept the color scheme full size theater. I was like, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
so that's my toxicity.
Well, and maybe the CMFs and stuff like that are creating some toxicity. I mean,
but that's just it. That's the funny thing. They always have, and they will continue to. I mean, what was it? The 40th anniversary party. It was series 20 or 18, where they released the Policeman, which was a callback to the original Policeman. He was a 1 per case figure, which, other than somebody who wants to get the full set of figures, is the most useless figure that was in the entire case, but it created so much drama on the
Mr.
land.
Gold.
I mean, there was a guy who was complaining, and for whatever country, that CMFs is like gambling because you don't know what you're getting, and gambling is illegal in my country, and so blind bags should be illegal. And I was like, wow, that escalated quickly.
That is quite spurious.
I agree that blind bag should be illegal, but
yeah. Hey, could you imagine the conversation we'd be having right now had they put the brown minifig in the box? That would have been.
You get your scale. You get your $10 Amazon kitchen scale. You bring it in with you Target. It's like this big, and I'm pretty sure you have a decent scale. You're going to be able to get a good amount of tolerance to figure out what's in the box.
You know what? I am going to buy stock in scale companies because that is going to be
you can.
They're like this.
You can be that
big.
That's hysterical. Either that or portable X-ray machines. Is that going to be a thing now? I don't know.
What were you saying, Matt? What were you saying?
Oh, bring in your scale, and you could be that customer that all the employees talk about back in the break room.
Exactly.
Well, you would not believe what I saw.
I mean, that's my game plan for next CMF is to bring a kitchen scale. I have like 4 of them.
When I was going through the blind bags, the manager, she was putting stuff on the Lego in the Walmart. She was putting stuff there. And I'm not going to leave a mess, but I was like, I'm definitely not going to leave a mess because I've talked to her before. She's very nice. And she's told me about, stuff that they have and don't have and everything. So
again, be
I
nice.
Made sure to clean up my mess, but I put them all back in the wrong orders.
Brian just brought back drug dealing into us. He says I need to go get a drug dealer scale, so it's extremely accurate for measuring the CMFs.
My wife's getting an upgraded kitchen scale because I need a more accurate kitchen scale.
Nice. And I think bottom line, and we talked about this before the show, bottom line is having a sense of humor and not taking yourself so seriously is probably a key to handling toxicity. Instead of blowing up, saying, okay, well, this isn't working out. Is this that important or whatever? Or if somebody's joking with you about your hobby or the Bionicle, especially, if you're a Bionicle fan right now and we don't have the new set pictures, but you may be raging about your Bionicle guy coming out and everything. I get it. I mean, we've been in the space business for so long and hadn't got space, but it's been trickling out to us, love it or not.
I will say there is one toxicity I find very, Ryan is doing GBC, intolerable, and that is when you go to conventions and you hear other people badmouth. And I'm not saying critique. I'm not saying, oh man, I know they could have done that thing better, but like when they bash, like I think when Virginia Bricks was saying someone was just bashing mosaics and saying that's not even really, real mocking and stuff like that.
Right.
I think that toxicity just has no place. Like if you can't respect somebody bringing out or showing their build, don't say anything.
Yeah. And unfortunately, and this happens in any group that gets larger than 20 people, much less if it's an online forum that has 15 or 30,000 people, you're going to get problem people who are just angry, bitter at the world and anything that's going on and want to piss all over everybody's phone. So it happens.
I think I might have pissed on somebody and said, well, they were saying something about a mock. And I'm like, well, did you bring anything?
Yep.
Do better.
Well, if you can't walk around the convention and find one nice thing to say about somebody who's built something and brought it, I don't have a lot of respect. I mean, I've seen some bad I've seen some disappointing builds at conventions, and I always found something to say like, hey, nice use of purple, or something.
Well, here's the thing. I know we all joke about Bionicle, but I have to think some of the Bionicle constructions, like the ones where they make construction figures out of the Bionicle piece, I mean, they are just like Woomy World.
Oh, Moko? Isn't it Moko? Is that?
No, Woomy World.
No, that's the fun vote. No, but there's a guy named Moko who does some amazing brick built figures with Bionicle pieces that I just am always in utter awe because there are some curves on those figures that I'm like, baby's got
and achieve that with regular system.
Yeah, I was like, that is impressive to have done with some Lego.
Yeah, but you know what? I know like our friend Dom. He is a big Bionicle guy, and Mark and I both have sent like poking fun pictures of what a lot of fans see is disappointing in that Bionicle gift with purchase coming out. But you know what? He handles it with humor, and then he also takes a pot shot fun back kind of thing. Don't take it so serious. I think some toxicity would go away if you didn't take yourself so serious and all that kind of stuff, and the FOMO and all that kind of jazz.
Yep.
There's another guy online. He's returning to the Lego hobby, and his name's Michael, and he does a lot of humor posts and stuff like that, and he's big into it. So I've been popping him. In fact, that Bionicle guy, I'm probably going to send that picture to him, and he'll make a joke back, and then he'll make fun of space or whatever, and it's fun. So, don't take it serious. If it's not your bag, you be a little more patient. It might be. You never know.
I believe that as long as you can laugh at and joke with amongst your friends in general, no matter what your passion is, you may eventually win them over to whatever it is that you've been joking about to begin with. So,
yeah.
I mean, our lifelong goal at this point in time is to get the Ericksons to embrace Nexonites, and it will happen one day. It will happen. It will happen.
And they're so awesome about that. They roll with that fun and have fun with it and laugh.
Oh yeah.
So laugh a little.
At least to your face. Behind the back, they're like, "Arr."
That's right. They're back there. They've got they're cursing us and calling down brimstone, and I don't know. Anyway, so
now I came up with a great idea for Atlanta BrickCon.
What's that?
Pulling out a bunch of Nexonites shields. I have them sorted out and just randomly leaving them like in their area.
Yeah. But let us not forget that someone's birthday is also in February, which is also the unofficial Nexonite Day.
Wait, what day in February is Nexonite Day?
Someone's birthday is Valentine's Day.
Other than, well, yeah, you're talking about the Ericksons, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm February 14th too. That's why.
Oh, well, then your birthday is Nexonite Day.
I didn't know it was. Who named it Nexonite Day?
I believe we did collectively, and Moto agreed with it. So we have.
Fair enough.
Oh, Erickson birthday is Nexonite Day.
Yeah, it's actually Mark versus Steven's birthday, but yes, it's going to be National Night.
I wonder, are they bringing a big castle display? I wonder for ABC, it would be awesome overnight for all of a sudden there's like a faction of Nexonites charging the gates or something like that. That would be cool.
And I know somebody who's got a whole.
I got tons of shields. I probably have about 30 shields sorted.
Meredith.
I know you have
so cute.
actual things.
It's so cute that you have 30 shields.
I know.
Oh, he's gonna flex.
There's my shields right there.
I have a whole bunch.
All right. Well, I don't know if we've solved the world's problems, but
we just stirred the pot.
But we figured out how we're going to troll the Ericksons, and
Yeah, but you know what? To quote one of my favorite lines from one of the greatest movies of all times, Stripes: "Lighten up, Francis." That's all we got to do in the Lego community. Flexo nights.
Flexo nights.
All right, everybody, have a great night. You know what? We talk about being nice to your neighbor in this and everything. Part of being a Lego fan is being patient, being kind to your neighbor. So be awesome and build awesome, everybody. Have a great night. Do awesome